Teaching awareness. This is something, as you, the master teacher, need to understand. Teaching awareness is so different from the very proactive, you giving the solution or you being always giving the answer to a young player. If I was working with Manny and Manny starts struggling, instead of me giving Manny the instructional or technical answer, you know, you're dropping your bat, your back elbow is getting away, your stride's too long. Teaching awareness and awareness training is about you as the teacher asking questions that will elicit a response that the player themselves will have the solution for. Because when you teach awareness, long term, you're teaching the real solution once the game starts. Because at some point, once the game starts, the best teacher in the world has to be the player themselves. And if you're not teaching them to be aware of their breath patterns, if you're not teaching them to be aware of their setup, if you're not teaching them to be aware of where the barrel of the bat is, the success that they're having in practice will become short-lived. And again, think about every time that you're working with pitchers. And this is where, you know, how did you feel? What were you thinking about at that point? Right? Those are general questions that you're going to really force the player themselves to give you some answers that have some specificity to it. Not just simply, yeah, or you as the teacher telling them, yeah, you know, way to go, keep your head down, or your back elbow went up. Those are the solutions right there. But the fact that the player had no awareness as to where their hand or where their elbow might have been, eventually, the fact that they weren't the ones that had the solution, that's going to come back to haunt them in a game situation. So awareness is about putting the burden back on the player themselves. Again, you giving them somewhat of an intro as to where you think the problem is, but really many times answering the problem with a question, where the players themselves are starting to become more physically and emotionally aware as to where they need to be or where they don't want to be. That solution and that formula many times is what will give them real game success.